Magnum Opus. Noun. A masterpiece. The greatest work by a particular artist. Hello, Hoop fam. It's Coach Steven, and today I'm bringing a new series to you, and I thought the best title for it would be Magnum Opus. A magnum opus is the defining work of an artist, not necessarily their best. And the first player I wanted to cover was none other than Charles Barkley. To young people, Charles is known for being a buffoon on TV and his beef with Draymond Green.
I miss San Antonio, one of my favorite cities.
Why you like San Antonio?
Oh, man. I look skinny down there.
Compared to who?
Oh, all them big old women down there.
Oh, why?
Loves it when Steph and Clay are around, just because it.
Well, because they can play.
It's good. No, but he said it's good.
Bro,
for
you know,
young guys.
is Draymond playing tonight?
He looks like
Draymond don't talk as much while he's out.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Hey, there you go. Hey, Shaq, Draymond don't talk as much since he's having that triple single.
What he averaging, Chuck?
A triple single.
9, 6, and 6.
Before Chuck became one of the funniest people on TV, he was actually a multiple-time All-Star and a league MVP.
A lot of these fans, like, he scored more points than me. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? But that don't necessarily mean you have more impact on a game than me.
Is Draymond right? Did Barkley score a lot of points without actually impacting the game?
Nope.
1993 Western Conference Finals. I'd argue that Charles had a better game statistically in Game 5, where he delivered a 40-point plus triple-double. But this Game 7 was not only great statistically, Charles made a lot of winning plays. You could see just by the effort he gave on defense, the effort he gave for loose balls, that he was going to do everything in his power to make sure his team got to the NBA Finals this year. Chuck had a lot of interesting nicknames, but the one that described him best and the one he actually liked the most was the round mound of rebound. I personally believe that if Charles didn't have the responsibility of being the centerpiece of an offense, he would have been every bit the rebounder that Dennis Rodman was. Charles uses all of his tricks on this possession: hand fighting, sliding laterally to avoid the box out, getting behind the defender and tapping the ball when he can't grab it.
Listening on the far side of the ball. Oh! Johnson way off the mark, but Barkley there as if it were a pass.
One of Charles's favorite tricks was coming underneath an opponent when they lost sight of him so that he could get inside position. Here, he takes advantage of a man that's ball walking to slide in underneath for a putback.
Gets the long rebound. Peyton well short. Some shooting.
When coaches talk about rebounding, they emphasize the box out. And the box out is important, but the most important aspect of rebounding is tracking the ball and securing it. Here, Charles does enough of a box out to dissuade Shawn Kemp from taking the free run to the rim, but he's also tracking the ball the whole time after it's been shot. When the ball caroms off the rim, Chuck goes and gets it. Here's another example of Charles sliding in underneath a defender. Sam Perkins has his head turned, doesn't see him. Charles slides right underneath him, catches the air ball, lays it back up. Before we talk about Charles, I just want to talk about Dan Marley right here. Great use of the negative step. One of those old fake fundamentals they used to teach back in the day was never step backwards, never use a negative step. Everybody does it, though. He does it here. Great job of getting past his defender. Opens up Charles for the jump shot on the baseline. And as a scorer, Chuck was what we call a two-level scorer. He was great at the rim, he was okay from the mid-range, and he was historically bad from three. Here he is operating out of the mid-post, and he squares up, catches the defender with his hand down. He's got enough space to raise up for the mid-range jumper, knocks it down. Now, props to Danny Ainge here for getting physical and laying some lumber on this screen. Years ago, Hubie Brown talked about setting screens, and he said the purpose of setting a screen was to make the defense think. Here, the defense has a little miscommunication. Charles gets great position, goes right up, Gets about the easiest shot he's going to get. As a great scorer, you have to learn how to score against double teams. Here, Chuck takes his time. He's patient. He's going to attack the baseline. Once he gets there, he's going to step through the double team to get a good look. Here, Chuck catches Shawn Kemp slightly out of position, and it's all he needs to make a backdoor cut. As soon as he sees Shawn has gotten a little bit too high and he's got no body contact with him, he explodes to the basket. Danny Ainge does a great job of finding him on the back door, keeps his head up, easy basket.
The rule of defense is always know where the ball is, know where your man is. Shawn Kemp got lost, and it was an easy two for Charles Barkley. So in order to prevent this play, they needed pressure on the passer. They needed Kemp to be aware of where Barkley was.
Remember earlier in the game when Chuck hit a few catch-and-shoot jumpers? So does Shawn Kemp. Kemp closes out to his body and forces Chuck to drive into the help, which is a good thing. And the thing about great players is that they're good enough to make the shots you want them to take. Here, Chuck's going to set a weak screen, but it's enough to get Perkins out of position, and he pops out for a three. When he's hitting this, you may as well cancel Christmas. After giving up a three, Perk plays Chuck way too tight here and gets blown by, and that's going to lead to some free throws.
Gary Payton with a foul. George Karl just staring down Barkley. Gave a little extra hit.
Here, Chuck uses his body to create a passing window and then knocks down the short pull-up jumper. When role players like Draymond make winning plays, we give them all the credit in the world. But when superstars do it, we tend to ignore it so that we can focus on points, rebounds, assists, and other counting stats. So now we're going to look at some of Chuck's winning plays from this game. Notice where Chuck and Kemp are when this ball is saved and where they end up as the possession moves forward. Here, Chuck gets the rebound, and instead of jogging up, he's going to run the floor so hard that he passes up his other big and forces the Sonics to foul.
On the rumble and the foul.
Chuck was never regarded as a strong defender, but here we see him making it tough on a couple of possessions for the other team's best player to get the ball.
Sonics want to reestablish their offensive presence to see if they can get their inside game going. McKee has got Chambers. He can make it happen if he goes on his own.
Here's Chuck running the floor again, pressuring the defense. His basketball IQ kicks in here, and he jumps right into Kemp's chest, knowing that he's their best player, but he's prone to make bad decisions. Kemp should let Chuck score here because he's too important to take these kind of fouls, but he just can't help himself, and Chuck draws Kemp's fourth foul. Here's old man rant number 2. For all the people that think Steph Curry would be Steve Kerr in the 90s because of hand checking, here's Gary Payton, a guy so good defensively that he got his nickname based off of it, hand checking KJ, who uses his off arm to swipe it away and get by the glove.
In this one, they're within contact now with 12 minutes to play.
Chambers, partially blocked, and it comes right back to Chambers. Look at Barkley fight for the rebound. How a man at only 6'4.5" can have such great timing, position, energy, out-rebound men half a foot taller consistently. He has 13 points up. Chambers. Barkley again. In the right place to cash in. 36th one. Good ball movement. It's Ames for the three. And Barkley, amongst the sea of green, able to come up with a rebound. How does he do it? 20 rebounds. 38 points for Barkley. Chambers. Game 1 of the finals. Chambers. Barkley doesn't get that rebound, then takes it away from McMillan and draws another foul. Oh my! That is why this man is the league's MVP.
missing for the Phoenix Suns. A guy who is relentless, who just won't let you lose. And this continues.
Barkley again, foul on Kemp, and the confrontation of the game's top stars, Kemp and Barkley. Symbolically, Kemp fouls out, and Barkley goes to score.